Adam Wade. Adam Wade is originally from New Hampshire. He's an 18-time Moth StorySLAM winner. Woo! What? 18-time. And 2-time Grand Slam champion. He's been seen on Comedy Central and ESPN. He's been featured in the New York Times and Time Out New York magazine. He's written for the New York Times, New York Press, and Glamour magazine. And his internet home is http://AdamWade.com. Let's welcome him to our stage.
It's great to be here. So I am from New Hampshire. The first, 16 years of my life were pretty normal. When I turned 16, I went to get my driver's ed. I had to take the tests and stuff, and my eyesight was really bad, so I went to the eye doctor, and I had to get glasses, and that's when my life changed. That's when everybody started saying I look like Rick Moranis. Like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids and the Ghostbusters. I am the gatekeeper, you're the keymaster. Non-stop, not once, all the time. And I have my insecurities, so it affected me. My freshman year, I went to Keene State College in Keene, New Hampshire. It's a small school. It's 2,000 people. They're all up there. And my freshman year, I was in a girl's dorm room, and she was half naked.
Yeah.
All right, she wasn't half naked. She had clothes on. She had pajamas. A scarf. She was wearing a lot of clothes, but I was in her room, and it was just me and her, and it was going well. Right? And then she's like, did anyone ever tell you look like Rick Moranis? I stopped, and within 2 minutes I was out of there. I ran out, and my friend's like, what the hell happened? What? I go, no. They go, what happened? She likes you. I go, no. She said I look like Rick Moranis. They're like, who cares? I go, no, I don't like when people come. They go, who cares? Are you nuts or what? And I'm like, oh, man, maybe. 4 years ago, actually, when I graduated college, I moved to New York City, and I became an NBC page. And I used to give tours around NBC, and for the first 3 months that you're a page, you have to give tours. And it's 6 tours a day, 6 days a week. It's a lot of tours, and a lot of tourists, and friendly faces. And every fucking tour, someone would say, anyone ever tell you look like Rick Moranis? And it was enough. Even I try to be a nice person, but I have my limits. And we were leaving Rosie O'Donnell's studio at the time, and we were going down the Dateline, and we were headed to the elevator, and I was just flagging the ladies, and then there was this large woman with a Green Bay Packers jacket on, and she was a cheery woman, and she looked at me and she said, "Did anyone ever tell you who you look like?" And I go, "Yeah, Brad Pitt. Now get in the fucking elevator." You're not supposed to do that on the tours of NBC, so I got suspended for 2 weeks without pay. Now, 4 years ago was when I had my lowest point in New York City. I was working in Midtown at a French company, an office job, and I don't speak French, so it was very I say ça va and au revoir and bonne nuit, which means good night. I thought it meant good night, but don't say that, they get upset. The French. Bon noir, no, but not bon nuit. I know they told me repeatedly. It was awkward, and it was not a fun job. But and I hadn't been dating any girls in a long time. So like a highlight of me, and I would do it twice a week, I would go, because I worked in Midtown, I would go to a ritzy hotel in the Midtown area, and I would go into the lobby, and it was like nice lobbies, and I would sit on the couch, like after work, open my book bag, and I'd read my graphic novels. That was like my big night out by myself. It's cheap, and could use the nice restrooms. And that was good. Oh, trust me. No, it's not Starbucks. These are beautiful parquet bathrooms. So like one night I was in there, and it was like a Thursday night, and there was like the function hall down was getting loud, and like I was like looking over, so then I saw the big sign. It was like a pharmaceutical convention countrywide, and I walked by, and I was just kind of nosy, and just seemed like everybody was having a good time. So I walked in, and I walked over by the bar, and I like nodded to the bartender, and he's like, "Can I get you something?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure. May I please have a Miller Lite?" And he's like, "Yeah, no problem." So I went to get my wallet, and he's like, No, you're with the convention, right? You're all set." I go, "Yes, I'm with the convention, the pharmaceutical convention, correct?" And he's like, "Yeah." I go, "Yeah." And I go, "Wait, do you mind getting me a Heineken Light instead?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure." And like, Heineken Lights are like $2 more. So I was sitting there, and this was nice. I was having like a nice moment, and I'm not gonna lie, like I'm a lightweight, but I had like 6 Heineken Lights like within an hour, just in case the bar was gonna close. And I was happy, and I was like smiling, and this was like the best night I was having in a long time. And then I locked eyes with this girl, and like across the room, she was like probably like in her mid to late 20s. She was like a healthy sized girl, like Monica Lewinsky-esque. I'm a huge fan of Monica Lewinsky. Oh, I did. She's terrific. So she came over, and she started talking to me, and it was nice. She broke the ice, and we were going back, and it was just like she was like from outside of Chicago, and we're going, and she was smiling, and I'm smiling, and I was a little nervous. I'd take a step back, and she'd take a step forward, and I was like, "Oh, well, this is gonna be interesting." And I was like, and then she said, "Has anyone ever told you look like Rick Moranis?"
No.
And I paused, and I like looked at her, and I just said, "Well, yeah, I mean, I should look like him, He's my dad." And she like grabbed my arm and like squeezed hard, and she's like, "I love Rick Moranis." I'm like, "Oh yeah." And she's like, "Oh my God." I'm like, "Yeah." And she's like, "I've never met a celebrity before." I'm like, "Well, I'm not really a celebrity." She's like, "No, a celebrity." I go, "Yeah, okay, yeah. I mean, I'm a celebrity." You're right. And so we just kept going, and it was just, and I was like, "This is," she was interested, but now she was really interested. When I take one step back, she'd take 2 steps forward, and I'd be like, "Jesus Christ, what's gonna happen?" So at the end of the night, she was staying in a hotel like 2 blocks away, so I walk her back to her front of her hotel, and I said, "I had a really good night." And then I'm not smooth, but I know what I gotta do when you gotta do it, and I closed my eyes, and I did not kind of think about where she was, and I just went in, and I went like that, and I missed her body, but I got the side of her ear, and then I didn't grope her, but I just kept like that, so I kissed her, and she's like, "You're a dork," and she's like, and I'm like, and she's like, "You are Rick Moranis' son," and I'm like, "I told you," and it was just like, oh, and then she's like, "I'm here one more night. Do you wanna go out tomorrow night?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's terrific. We'll go get grilled cheeses at the diner. We'll have a good time. That's a fun night. Friday night." She's like, "No, I want to go there," and she pointed to Del Frisco Steakhouse. And I'm like, hey, Rick Moranis, I'm like the black sheep of the family. I don't have the Ghostbusters money to be taking me to your night. You seem like a nice girl. She's like, no, we'll use my corporate card. I was like, "Yeah, Delph, I love steak. We'll go there. I'll take you there with your card. Oh, you're a good girl." So the next night, I dressed up. I wore a polo shirt. I looked good. And she looked great, and it was nice. We walk in, and we sat down, and it was like a la carte. We got $50 steaks, and we got like nice bread, and then like mashed potatoes, and like I ordered a salad, and I'm like, can I please get French dressing with my salad? And like the waiter's like, well, what's that? I don't know. Well, what's French dressing? I go in the kitchen, okay, and you take ketchup and you take mayonnaise, you whip it up. That's French dressing. And thank you, garçon. She was very impressed. So when we're finished eating, I got a doggy bag, her treat, and then I walked her back to our hotel, and I said, like genuinely, like I mean this, like this is like the best night I've had like in 4 years. You know, thank you. You know, and she's like, yeah, the night doesn't have to end. Do you want to come back? And I was like, yeah, I would like that. I would like that. So I went back to our room, and like I'm not a kiss and tell kind of guy. Like that's just the way I am. But I want you to know, like we had a good time. We had a good time. Twice. It was a record for me in 1 minute. It was awesome. So I woke up like about 3 hours later, and she was in my arms. And I had like this major panic attack because it's like, you know, like, what the hell are you doing? You're lying, and you're saying you're Rick Moranis' son. You're going to, you're banging ladies here. Well, what's going on? And I'm like freaking out, and I'm like, that's not you. That's not you. And I'm like, no, it isn't. But I mean, here, and I'm like talking to myself, and I'm mumbling. I'm trying to do it softly so I don't wake her, but I'm shaking, and I don't know. And I'm like, man, I gotta pee. So I wake up the next morning, and you know, she's changing, and I'm changing, and you know, she's getting ready to go to the airport. So we go downstairs, and I'm like outside, I'm like trying to flag her a cab, and I'm like, you know, hey, but you know, before you get the cab, like I had a great time, and she's like, yeah, and then like I look down, and she's like, what's wrong? I said, what's like, before the cab, I gotta come clean. I'm not really Rick Moranis' son. And she like squeezed my arm again, and she goes, I kind of figured that out a while ago. But I appreciate you, like, you know, like role-playing in a fantasy I've always had. And like she kissed me on the cheek, and she got in the cab, and so I didn't really know what her fetish was or whatever that you call it, role-play this type of fantasy. In my life, like Rick Moranis has denied me happiness a lot, like many times. Like cock block, you name it, he's been there. But 4 years ago, when things weren't going well, he gave me good times. Twice. Thank you.